your primetime news at 10 on the Cape Fear CW.
Now in your news at 10, the latest on a boat crash in Southport that sent several people to the hospital. Live from the scene. Looking for a superior selfie? There's a place right here in the Cape Fear which is picture perfect, and it's open this weekend. And it's been an interesting night here at WWAY. The good news, a great response by the fire department at our new hometown. Thanks for joining us for your Cape Fear CW Primetime News at 10. I'm Randy Aldridge. We begin tonight with an update to breaking news we first told you about on WWAY News at 7:30. A boat careening onto shore, plowing through several docks in Southport. Tonight we are learning the extent of the injuries to those people involved. The Cape Fear CW's Andrew James joins us now live in Southport with the latest on the investigation. Andrew?
Well, Randy, I can tell you right now from law enforcement what they've told me. You can still see the scene is active here with debris and damage, but they've told me at least 4 folks had to go to the hospital as a result of this crash, one of those being in critical condition. Now, what I'm hearing from neighbors as well, that may be just a broken leg or so. We're still waiting to hear more from the NC Wildlife Resources Division. Now, the NC Wildlife folks, they were here just a little after 7 o'clock tonight. That's a little after this all took place here in Southport. They, along with fire and EMS from Southport, city police, town police, as well as the county sheriff's office, all responded to this. From what NC Wildlife folks tell me, a wake caused people to lose control of that 26-foot boat. It then careened onto the shore here just before the Southport Pier, colliding with 3 docks, as well as cutting through one boat that was stationary. Neighbors I heard from, though, they're still amazed after seeing all of this, that only the injuries were how they were. They say it could have been a lot worse.
It's scary. Thank God it was at this time of day, because there's lots of times there's people walking down here on the beach, you know, picking up glass and shells and stuff like that. So it could have been pretty bad.
Even though night has fallen here in Southport, there's still work going on here along the shoreline to get more of the debris picked up. In fact, the force of this boat was so strong. You can see, if I can move a little bit, you can see all of this wiring and still the backdrop of the dock there that's completely ripped off. It was towed about 2 hours after this crash had happened, but the work is still ongoing here. In fact, just in front of me here is some work being done to get the hard top of the boat off of the shoreline. I'll try and show you guys that all new on WWY News at 11. For now, live in Southport, Andrew James, WWAY News.
Thank you, Andrew. And not long after we learned about the boat crash, we had an emergency of our own here at the new WWAY studio in Leland. Just as our 7:30 newscast ended, our building's fire alarm went off and we had to leave for more than an hour. Leland Police and Fire and Winnebago Fire both responded. They figured out the problem started in an ice machine in the kitchen of our event space. We want to express a big thank you to all of the men and women who came out tonight to help us and make sure we were all okay. 1 year ago today, we first learned of a potential toxic cocktail of chemicals in the Cape Fear River, including Gen X. What's happened since then? Well, a panel of scientists, regulators, as well as activists discussed it tonight. The Cape Fear chapter of Surfrider hosted tonight's Year in Review discussion. Panelists shared the latest happenings in research. ECU toxicologists have done tests on the impacts of PFOAS in mice. Results are being analyzed from bodily fluids of how much Gen X stays in the body, and state funding is on its way to the Department of Environmental Quality for more research. All of this comes as several public and private lawsuits have moved forward against Chemours, who is the company responsible for discharging the chemicals. As the school year comes to an end, and one school district here in the Cape Fear has nearly $90,000 in unpaid school lunches. In New Hanover County, there is $88,000 in unpaid lunches. 21 schools in the New Hanover County District are part of a federal program called Community Eligibility Provision. It's a program which provides free meals to all students at schools that primarily serve low-income children. Families at other schools that cannot afford meals must apply for the free or reduced meal program. If they do not, costs from their unpaid lunches can quickly add up.
Parents are busy, or they don't have time to fill out a free and reduced application, or they are, maybe there are some children that might be spending more than their parents tell them that they can spend. But you know, every week we're sending out letters, phone calls.
Smith also said board policy prevents schools from denying a child a meal. She also encourages parents who may need free or reduced lunches to apply for the program. The state of California recently became the first state to mandate solar panels on new homes. Their program starts in 2020. At Sunset Beach, a planning board member wants to do the same, but North Carolina law is standing in the way. The Cape Fear CW's Justin McKee explains.
The technology is here to make people live better, easier, and cheaper. Why not take advantage?
Bruce Fadum wants to make rooftop solar panel arrays mandatory on new construction in Sunset Beach. He discussed his proposal with his fellow planning board members at Thursday morning's meeting. He cited the environmental and economic benefits for new residents to install the panels on their homes.
I've always been interested in solar panels and green communities, and I think that we are over-reliant on our grid system and also the generation plants. But actually, I got into it for myself to look for a way to minimize my electrical bill. And this, in my opinion, would cut down my electrical bill by 25%.
Brunswick Electric currently has 5 members with rooftop solar panels in Sunset Beach. The utility says it would cost $17,000 to $20,000 for an average array at a home in the community.
Solar energy is here to stay. North Carolina's #2 in the nation for popularity and feasibility of solar. It doesn't work for everybody, but we're certainly in support of all the different options that come our way for solar.
Unfortunately for Fadum, the community cannot currently mandate the solar panels under North Carolina law, according to Interim Town Administrator and Planning Director Hiram Marziano. But that is not stopping Fadum from getting the conversation started. For the Cape Fear CW in Sunset Beach, I'm Justin McKee.
Planning Board member Ron LaBruno suggested an alternate plan where developers would give homeowners options on panels rather than making it mandatory. The board will discuss the proposal and modifications at a later date. Well, you know, it's been a pretty picturesque place to be here in the Cape Fear lately, and there's a field of sunflowers that are perfect for you and your family. You can even take a few of those home with you while you take photos. It's happening this weekend at the Old River Farms near Burgaw. Michael Lanier says he usually plants strawberries, but since that crop wasn't so great last year, he decided to plant something different. He planted more than 100 pounds of sunflower seeds, but the field of sunshine is short-lived.
This will be the only week that they're blooming, unfortunately. We are going to try to grow another field of sunflowers that'll be ready closer to fall, so that maybe the weather will be a little bit more comfortable, maybe in late September or have them bloom in early October.
Old River Farms is at 8711 Old River Road in Burgaw. There is no admission to walk through the flowers tomorrow or Saturday, but if you want to take some home, they're $1 per stem. Next week, professional photographers can rent the field for private photo shoots.
Now, with your Cape Fear CW Primetime News at 10 forecast, here's Chief Meteorologist Scott Dean.
And I imagine those sunflowers got a pretty good dousing of rain as we had a heavy thunderstorm push across portions of Pender County, including Burgaw, where there was a flash flood warning issued. In fact, a report of 3.6 inches of rain in only 30 minutes and numerous reports of streets that were flooded in the Burgaw area. But fortunately, that storm is long gone and the water has certainly receded. In fact, you can see the rain is over with. We have a few showers pushing off to the south, but those are certainly not going to affect us. There could be some patchy fog tomorrow morning at the bus stop for the last day of school, especially areas that saw a little bit of rain. Otherwise, sunshine with some clouds. I'll let you know about rain chances as we get into the weekend. More on that in just a bit. Randy?
Thank you, Scott. Well, you know what? It's Thursday, and that means we've got another edition of Cape Fear History and Mysteries up next. We've got the story of Charlie and Rose Lucas and the Wilmington Blues. Plus, the weekend is almost here. Are you looking for something fun to do? Stephanie Waldrop has the details in what's happening. Now to a story of legends, love, and loss. It is the latest edition of Cape Fear History and Mysteries. Charlie and Rose Lucas are two famous blues musicians who have played with the cream of the crop. Rose tells us about their journey from high school sweethearts to the grandparents of blues in Wilmington.
Cape Fear History and Mysteries.
This is a story of Charlie and Rose Lucas and the Wilmington Blues.
Every day, babe, every day I have the blues.
The story of Charlie and Rose Lucas plays like a musical note wrapped around a heart. They're both famous blues musicians that met in school and fell in love. Charlie was born in Castleton, North Carolina, and Rose in Wilmington, North Carolina. Charlie grew up playing the guitar, and Rose played the piano and eventually keyboards. As a duet and in bands, Rose and Charlie have played around the world. Charlie has played lead guitar for such legends as James Brown, Otis Redding, B.B. King, and Muddy Waters. They are known as the grandparents of blues in Wilmington. In 2013, Charlie passed away. Now in 2018, Rose Lucas tells their story.
I was born, everything was different. It was a small, more or less a town more than a city. Dirt streets everywhere. I've been in this particular house. This is where I was born, right here, 75 years ago. And there was only one school at the time here for blacks. At high school, you know, and we met in school. I didn't like him. He was too talkative. I did not like, he would just talk. I couldn't stand it. I ran from him. Every time I saw him, I'd go the opposite direction. But I don't know how we ended up together, but we did. Mm-hmm. First thing, he's a true friend. He was my friend. But one of the better, I think Charlie, among all things, he was my friend. And I miss him immensely.
Red roses too, they all bloom for me and you. Then I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
What a wonderful love story right there. Thank you very much to Brandon Ewers for that story. If you'd like to see more, you can go to our website, www.aytv3.com/history and mysteries. Well, she's been a talk show host, actress, film producer, philanthropist, and educator, and now Oprah Winfrey is getting her very own museum exhibit. We've got details coming up in tonight's entertainment.
Now, with your Cape Fear CW Primetime News at 10 forecast, here's Chief Meteorologist Scott Dean.
Well, it turned out to be a very typical June afternoon. We saw the sea breeze become active and some areas picking up some showers and some thunderstorms. And as often the case this time of year, some of those storms containing some heavy downpours. But things have quieted it down now that we've lost the daytime heating, as we're looking at a live shot at Carolina Beach, which, by the way, did not see any rainfall. But boy, up towards Pender County in Burgaw, you saw a good amount of rain with one storm that had a lot of lightning with it. But it looks like we're going to continue with this typical June-like pattern as we go through the next several days. Daily afternoon chances for at least some rainfall at varying degrees. But it looks like the showers may become a little bit more numerous as we head into early next week. In the meantime, we're looking at quiet conditions, 79 degrees at the Wilmington Airport, a dew point of 70, so it's fairly sticky with east wind at 5 miles an hour, some residual cloudiness left over from some of those storms, which should gradually clear out as we go through the overnight period. Temperatures have dropped into the 70s everywhere, the warmest being Myrtle Beach and Wilmington at 79. And you can see this little boundary coming through, that also acting upon the sea breeze, cause those showers and storms to bubble up. And if you got underneath one of those storms, certainly some heavy downpours. But as we've gone through the last few hours, just some leftover cloudiness from those storms. And there could be some areas of fog forming overnight tonight, especially areas that saw some rain. The model is kind of indicating that there could be some patchy fog, but that'll burn off quickly as we go into the mid-morning and into the middle portion of the afternoon. Once again, the sea breeze will start to migrate inland, and it looks like there could be a spotty shower or two along that sea breeze, although this model is showing much less coverage than what we saw today. And then as we go into Saturday, it looks like rain chances may come up just a little bit. As you can see here, a little bit more coverage of showers and storms. And of course, any of those could have some heavy downpours with it. Otherwise, it will be a partly sunny day, and both days will be warm with temperatures well into the 80s, as you can see as we go into Saturday evening. So for tonight, temperatures dropping into the upper 60s to low 70s. And again, areas especially that saw some rainfall, it would not surprise me if you wake up to some dense fog, but that should burn off as we go through the morning hours, and afternoon highs in the low 80s, mid to upper 80s away from the beaches. And it looks like we'll continue with this pattern. No major weather systems around, just a sea breeze during the afternoon. That, along with the heating of the day, will give us daily chances for at least some coverage of showers and storms. But there will be many areas that don't see any rain. So certainly if you're planning on the garden to help Mother Nature help you out, well, might want to grab the garden hose.
Let's take a minute here to talk about the fact that the fire alarms went off. We had to evacuate the building. This one nowhere to be found. Where were you this evening?
Oh, well, you know, someone has to be out doing.
Someone has to take care of business.
Yeah, that's right.
He misses all the action. It was quite something to behold. Thank you to the fire department.
You have to tell me about it.
Yes, we still can smell it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Turning now to entertainment news, Oprah Winfrey is getting her own exhibit at the Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History. It tells the story of Winfrey's journey from poverty to the top of her own media empire. The exhibit boasts more than 240 artifacts and has 3 main exhibit sections, including multimedia displays. It looks at her many public roles, from talk show host to actress to film producer to philanthropist and even educator. That exhibit opens tomorrow. The Iceman returneth. Last month, we told you Paramount Pictures cleared Top Gun Maverick, with star Tom Cruise set to return to his very famous role. Well, now, according to The Wrap and The Hollywood Reporter, Val Kilmer's character from Top Gun will also be in the upcoming movie. Cruise tweeted on May 31st that production for the long-awaited sequel had already begun. Speaking of sequels, it's the return of all things pink and, well, blonde. Legally Blonde 3 is officially in the works. Actress Reese Witherspoon confirmed the project on social media today. Witherspoon will reprise her role as the perky, perpetually happy Elle Woods in the 3rd installment. No plot details nor release date have been announced. Well, are you looking forward to the weekend but can't decide what to do? Concerts, Ocean Fest, movies, much more. Stephanie Waldrop has all the details in What's Happening. It's almost the weekend, and we're helping you plan with lots of things going on across the Cape Fear. Here's Stephanie Waldrop with What's Happening.
Weekend is upon us and the weather is looking great, so let's get out and enjoy it. The first stop for our weekend fun is the Downtown Sundown Concert Series. This week, Hey Johnny Park, a Foo Fighters tribute band, will take the stage right after opening act, the Phantom Playboys. Music starts at 6:30 at Riverfront Park with beer and wine available for purchase with a $1 wristband. The Greenfield Lake Amphitheater is going to be bumping as well this weekend. On Friday at 7 p.m., 98.3 The Penguin presents an event with Lucas Nelson and Promise of the Real with opening act Particle Kid. Admission for this one ranges from $27 to $32 with doors opening at 6 p.m. After rocking out on Friday, head back to downtown Wilmington to enjoy the Rims on the River car show on Saturday. All the cars will line North Front and Chestnut Street starting at 11 a.m. with the awards show beginning at 4 p.m. There's also a free concert starting at 1 p.m. on Princess Street. Admission is free, so grab the family and enjoy. Happening at the NC Aquarium at Fort Fisher on both Saturday and Sunday is Ocean Fest. Here, guests will get to enjoy games, book readings, film screenings, and a scavenger hunt. The fun starts at 2 p.m. both days, with admission being around $10. Then after a busy weekend, you can wind down with a movie at Carolina Beach Lake Park. This weekend's show is perfect for the kiddos, The Secret Life of Pets. Admission is free, so bring your snacks and your lawn chairs to the park on Sunday at dusk to enjoy. Now, there's always so much to do around the Cape Fear, and this weekend is no exception. I'm Stephanie Waldrop, and that's what's happening.
After the break, Scott takes a look at your forecast. We'll be right back.
And as we go into the last day of school, believe it or not, Randy, this is the last time we're going to show this graphic for a while, and not until August. But it should be a quiet one as we start off with sunshine. Now, there will be some areas that will probably start off with some patchy fog, especially if you've got a lot of rain. That is a recipe for fog. But the fog should burn off quickly, giving way to partly sunny skies, and in the afternoon there could be a spotty shower, although I don't think we're going to see as much coverage as we saw today across the total area, although there were quite a few areas that saw no rain, and it looks like as we go through the next couple of days that will be the case as well. So typical summery conditions, warm in the afternoon with a chance for an afternoon shower or storm.
If you don't like the weather, wait a minute.
That's right. That was the way it was today, that's for sure.
It was. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow night.
Have a good one.